Good afternoon, brothers and sisters.
Afternoon, Shifu.
Afternoon, Shifu.
Very good to see all of you. How are y'all today? Let's see. Anybody who is new here with us today? Go through the names. Siu In, May, Vicky, Choi Kwan, Lin Toy, Quack, Valerie, Danny, Christine, Lama, Elvin, Chopin. Chopin, you're in the office. Single. Hardcore. Hey, but your nose is not properly covered. Yeah, but are you the only one in the office today?
Yes, I am the only one in the office today.
Oh, yeah. If you're the only one, are you allowed to unmask?
Actually, by right, I guess so, but
Yeah.
better still mask.
Yeah, better still. In case someone walk around.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, we have Jolene, we have Marcel, we have Albert in Spain. Now Albert, you're all alone. Yeah. Alison and Edward has this by now should have already reached Puerto Rico or Costa Rica. Which one is it? Costa Rica? Costa Rica or Puerto Rico?
No, it's Costa Rica.
Huh?
The place they go is Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then we have Sai Kyang, Esther, Cadell. Cadell today is in the heaven. We have May and Esther. We have another Bell. This is Bell Lu. That one is Bell Wong. Bell Wong, right? Wong, right? Yeah. And we have Lock John. We have Helen. We have my sis. Leah. Is it Leah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is
Hi,
this your
Shifu.
first? Hello. Is this your first time with us?
Yeah, it's my first time, but I've been listening on Facebook.
I see. Say hello to Leah.
So I know Jolene also. That's the only person I know here.
Okay, I see. Welcome to Spiritual Good Cultivation.
you.
So you've been following us on Facebook.
Yes.
Okay, I see. Good to have you join us on Zoom. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Shifu.
Okay, and then we have Sing Ling, we have Ling, we have Dorina Holic, Chu, and then then my sis Doreen, two Doreen side by side. And then we have Justin.
Yes.
Yes. Very good.
What community say yes? Oh no!
Oh yes, no, not no. Yeah, very good to see you, Justin. Handsome boy. Are you a handsome boy? Say no, I'm handsome young man.
Ooh.
Okay, then we have Sherry.
Hey, no.
We have, young people, right? They like to play with the mic. Then when we grow up, we are shy of the mic. Young people, you give them mic. Then when you reach a certain age, you pass them the mic. Oh, no. Then we have Sherry. Sherry. Where are you? Eh? You look like you're in Pulau.
Near my mom's house, please.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
I run errand for my mom, yeah.
Oh, okay. You're outside. Okay, don't save your data. Turn off your webcam. Then we have Zhou Bing 2. So Zhou Bing, you have successfully cloned yourself. But the other one is not allowed to show their face. Linda, is this our Linda? Linda? Hello, Linda.
Hi.
or different Linda? Which Linda is this?
I'm actually new to this
Huh?
Zoom meeting.
Come again?
I'm actually new to this Zoom meeting.
Oh, you're new. I see.
Yeah.
Would you be able to turn on your webcam?
I'd rather not.
You'd
Sorry.
rather not. Okay. So welcome to SGC. How did you know? How do you come to know?
It's through one of my friends. He
Oh.
WhatsApp me the link.
Oh, I see. Well, welcome to SGC. Yeah, the reason why I was curious is because my younger sister is also called Linda. So I was like, wow, today whole family is here, huh? But unfortunately not the same Linda.
So, yeah. So,
So Dia, wow, you know food drill, huh?
yeah, papaya.
Wow. Then we have Ping Ai. Hello, Ping Ai.
Hello.
You also shy, huh?
Can turn on my webcam?
Different Ping Ai. I was expecting the old Ping Ai. Then
Sorry?
this one is a new Ping Ai, young egg Ping Ai.
Is there another page?
Well, on my Facebook, there's another guy, but much older than you, apparently.
Oh,
Exactly the same as I was expecting him.
oh.
This is what perception does to us. Yeah. So right from the start, I was like, interesting. And I was as I'm gonna say, like, are you in your Iron Man suit?
What?
Yeah, that guy, he has Iron Man suit, he has Stormtrooper suit. Yeah, he's into cosplay in the superhero thing. Yeah, very interesting. Welcome. How did you get to know about our group?
It's from Vanessa.
Vanessa.
From NGBS. Yeah.
I see. Good. Welcome.
Thanks.
Okay. Then we have Bisian, introduced before, and the rest. Yes. So all accounted for. So today we have a few of the new but not so new, because some of you have been following us on Facebook. Yeah. So as you know, SGC, we have short chanting, short meditation, and not so short Dharma sharing. And today's topic is about the two ways of looking at this world. So today's topic, let me see. So ultimate reality versus our deluded perception. Yeah, and that just illustrates very nicely, isn't it? Yeah. Before Ping Ai, how do you pronounce your name again? Ping Ai.
Ping Yi.
Ping Ai. Okay.
Yeah.
So before Ping Ai turned on his webcam, yeah, I was having the perception it is the other Ping Ai. Yeah, behind the screen. Yeah. Until he turned it on, and in fact, when he answered, I was like, I've never heard him speak before. Is this how he sound like? Yeah, because he is I think probably 10 over years older than me. Yeah. Then when you turn on the webcam, like, different thing. This is exactly what this topic is about. Yeah. Bisian says, please turn off your audio. Oh, me? You want me to turn off my audio? I presume.
Oh, just ignore the message. That was the very beginning when someone just joined and didn't turn off the audio. Just ignore the message, please.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah. So if any of you have any questions or any thoughts, you can just drop it into the chat also, and then I will reply to it later. Yeah. Okay. So today's topic. Very often we perceive things that bring us suffering we perceive things that bring us suffering to bring us joy. That means we perceive that some things can bring us joy, but actually it brings us suffering. Yeah. Or take impermanence or permanence. So things that are impermanent, we think it's permanent. Are there things that is impermanent, then we think it's permanent? It's not always that we think things that are impermanent, we think as permanent. Yeah. For example, our pimple. Most of you are no more pimple. Yeah. But when we are younger, we have pimple, we think it's going to be impermanent, but it's quite permanent. Yeah. And then you think that your boss is going to be quite impermanent, then Scully never resign. You heard the grapevine, you heard, we're going to re-op. Wow, your boss is going to be real away. Then in the end, no. Yeah. In the end, you are re-op to become closer to your boss. Yeah. So how can we bridge this gap between the ultimate reality of Dukkha, Anicca, Anatta, and our deluded perception? So first off, once we have these three, I must insist on the formal order. Okay, usually we go with Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, not Anatta, not Dukkha, Anicca, Anatta. Yeah. Who? Don't say that. Don't say Sakyam. Don't tell me. Don't tell us who wrote this. Yeah. Later the person shy. Then next time don't write any more questions. Yeah. So in a way, it also doesn't matter, Yeah. They are all talking about our reality. Yeah. But if we were to look at the suttas, the Buddha usually start off with Anicca. Yeah. Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta. Yeah. So, and our deluded perceptions. So how can we bridge this gap? How? When you get hammered enough by the reality, then you give up. Then we cease him. Yeah. The trouble is, the trouble sometimes is this, oh wait, did anybody else come in? Oh, Poland just came in. Okay. So let me ask you all a question, okay, related to this this topic. Before we learn about the Buddhist teaching, do we think that we have deluded perception? We don't think so, right? Yeah. In fact, before we learn Buddhism, we didn't even know that there's another reality. Yeah. So initially, we are quite happily going along with our life. Then how about suffering? Before we learn Buddhism, did we know that there's suffering? Or Sakyam said to know. Oh, Sakyam, your life's so good, huh? Before you learn Buddhism, you never have suffering. Then why you learn Buddhism? Huh? You bring suffering to your life. If your life had no suffering, then why do you come and learn Buddhism and cause your life to have suffering? Wow. So after this, we must stay back and have a proper discussion with Sakyam. How come her life has no suffering beforehand? And why? How come Buddhism introduced suffering to you? I would say most of us don't have the luxury of Sakyam's life. Okay, yeah. No, I think maybe Sakyam, maybe what Sakyam meant, maybe correct me, Sakyam, if I got it wrong. Maybe what Sakyam meant was, yeah, we know suffering, but we don't know the way the Buddha described it. Yeah. Before we learn the Dharma, we also experience suffering, right? Like when we were in primary school, and then we had to visit the dentist. Last time primary school have a dentist in the school one, yeah, and it's actually a nurse, not the doctor dentist, but a nurse. And then the primary school has a small little dental clinic. and it's the most feared place in the whole school. You don't mind going to common room, you don't mind going to the very desolated toilet. You fear being called to the dentist. You'll find all kinds of excuses to go to the dentist.
No, not.
Huh? Justin, no, huh? You like to go to the dentist? You like to go to the dentist? Yes. Oh, I think he said yes. Very good. Going to the dentist. So it's very interesting. We fear going to the dentist because it seems to bring us pain, right? Or at least some discomfort. You just hear the drill, powering up, and then yeah, the drill bit doesn't seem to end. So in a way, this dentist thing is a very good parallel, you know. Is it the dentist who bring us suffering? Yeah, it's not, isn't it? It's both our dietary habit and also our lack of dental hygiene that is causing the suffering. The dentists basically bring up the fact that we have a problem with our teeth, you know? Yeah. So likewise, Buddhism don't bring us suffering. It just brings up to us, yeah, the Buddha's teaching merely elucidate to us, yeah, reveal to us, spotlight to us, yeah, that we have tata on our teeth, that we have some black spots, we have some plaque, yeah, or plaque. I think it's plaque, not plaque. Or if you have a plaque in your mouth, wow, that's scarier. You have plaque, plaque. Is it plaque or plaque? Plaque, huh? Okay, let's assume it's plaque. Huh? You know what I'm talking about, the yellow color thing. Yeah. So when we are young, that's our suffering. Huh? What else? When we have to go to bed, it's suffering. Yeah. Okay, this is quite personal and subjective. For some, how many of you like to go to sleep when you are a kid? When you are young, how many of you like to go to bed? How many of you don't like to go to bed when you are young? So when you are young, going to bed is suffering. How many of you now wish you can stay in bed for 5 more minutes in the morning? So it's very interesting, isn't it? There's a similar process, but at some point in our life, we think it's suffering. Then at another point in time, we don't feel it's suffering. So our perception of suffering seem to change. Yeah, seem to change. So when the Buddha, through the teachings, point out suffering, sometimes when people listen to the teachings, or when new Buddhists or people actually go and read what the Buddha taught, then they're like, wow, this is a crazy religion. They know suffering. Yeah. But as we learn more of it, and we, very importantly, after learning, then we need to reflect. Yeah, not just listen and then accept. No, in Buddhism, you need to listen. Of course, you must still retain it, and then you must reflect on it. Yeah, to make sense of it. And then you start to realize, hey, wait a minute. Not so much that Buddhism or the Buddha is just always talking about suffering. I mean, we also know suffering. Yeah, but what he did was to give us a deeper understanding of suffering. Yeah, to help us go beyond the facade of what we think is suffering. That beyond what we normally think of suffering, there's a deeper layer to it. Not just the superficial, not just the suffering in terms of how we feel towards it. No, not just that. Yeah, not just in terms of the physical pain, then we call it suffering. Yeah, but different aspects of suffering, different forms of suffering. And even more importantly, he illustrate, and point out and explain how when certain conditions come together, then suffering arises. Yeah, in some of the texts we call it the aggregation. Yeah, aggregation of suffering. Yeah, 集, aggregation of defilements leading to the aggregation of suffering. So, is there a gap? So the Buddha was trying to elucidate that to us. After learning about the teaching, we should know already, right? Yeah. So why should there be a gap? Is there a gap? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. The challenge we have is some aspects of the teaching is quite apparent. Some aspect is quite apparent. Like when he talked about certain aspects of suffering, like when he described aging is suffering, sickness is suffering, death is suffering. All this is easy to understand. When he said birth is suffering, not so easy to understand. Yeah. When he say impermanence, there's impermanence. Impermanence is suffering. Sometimes we think at first we're like, impermanence is suffering. Especially when we have just lost a loved one. Yeah. Especially when our good friend has left us. Yeah. For example, our good friend now travel to Costa Rica. Then we suffer. Yes. Are you taking over their place, Albert? No. So certain parts of the Buddha's teaching is quite apparent. Yeah. But even then, sometimes when we reflect further, then we realize, not so apparent also, because even just impermanence, not to mention no self, not to mention suffering or anything, just impermanence. How many of you know that for all intents and purposes, all things in this world is impermanent? You all know? Justin said he don't know. You can always get an honest, candid answer from a younger person. Yeah, they don't know. They say don't know. No, they didn't know. Yeah, don't know, and no. Okay. Yeah, right. But sometimes we realize that what we know is probably not the whole picture. So, for example, impermanence. A question that has become a favorite of mine is this: a very simple question. When you go to bed last night, is it the same person who woke up this morning? Is it the same person? Yeah. Is it the same person? Vicky, when you go to bed yesterday, do you wake up with the same wife? Wow, that is a very tricky question. Wow, you say different, die. You say same, also die.
Same but different. Right?
Very good answer. Give you a round of applause. Same but different. That is the problem, Yeah, exactly. That's the problem with our world. Yeah, same but different. I think same but different is a Singapore phrase. Is it? Or is it known in other countries? Christine say, where what?
Thai.
Thailand. Thailand
they
also
like the
say
same,
that.
but different. Yeah.
Then we must say same but different.
Same but different.
Oh. Yeah, car, cup, same, but different. Huh? Oh, so maybe, yeah, Thailand is quite a Buddhist country. So maybe Buddhism has become so ingrained that it has become part of the culture. Same, but different. And this is our reality, isn't it? If day in, day out, we see the difference, who would be so stupid to think that it's permanent? Right? We are not stupid, right? Anybody stupid? Who is stupid here? Raise your hand.
Stupid people never know they're stupid.
Yeah, that's the problem. Oh no. In one
That's
statement,
what
you
makes
just
them stupid.
in one statement, you just, I don't know whether you or me just insulted everybody.
Including me.
Now the rest of them are thinking like, wait, am I the stupid one?
Me, most of all. Because I don't think I'm stupid.
No. Let's put it this way. We are all unenlightened. Yeah, we are all unenlightened. I mean, think about it, right? If it's apparent enough that our physical body is changing, apparent as in we see it changing as we speak, then we will not have the false sense of permanence, the false sense of security in our existence. We would be very clearly, embracing the fact that, yeah, things don't last, but sometimes we do. Sometimes we are aware of that, but oftentimes as an afterfact, and sometimes like how they describe it, like have to come to the conclusion, kicking our legs, putting out a fight until we tire ourselves out and we realize we have no choice. Then we accept the unwitting truth, the irrefutable truth that things do change. But when do we want them to change? When do we not want them to change? When things don't go our way, we want them to change. When things go our way, do we want them to change? No, we want them to be more permanent, right? And in fact, we don't just want them to be permanent. We hope that they are permanent. We start to think of ways to make them more permanent. Just look at our environment. Yeah, just look at our environment. Material science is oftentimes all about making things more permanent or less permanent. Yeah, think about it. And material science is not a new thing, From we have humanity go through different stages, right? So we have the Iron Age, then the Bronze Age, then we have the what age? The different ages, right? The Stone Age, then Iron, and so on and so forth, right? So those time periods basically go through, describe the usage of different materials. Yeah. Now, before you think, hey, Sifu always digress so far, think about it. When we use different materials, we change from one material to another material for what purpose? Sometimes it's due to cost. Yeah. Many times it's due to certain attributes of those new materials that give us more control over its shape, over its weight, over its durability. But what is durability? Durability is but another word for permanence, isn't it? We chop down a tree, we dry it, we process it so that it's more permanent. If you just cut off some tree trunk and don't process it and use it directly, before you know it, it's going to start to warp, because as it dries unevenly, it starts to warp. And then if you still have some organic material inside, that's, it can cause it to decay, right? Any moisture that is still inside will cause it to decay. So what do? We send it through the mill, we cut it, we process it, and oftentimes it goes through this drying process to make sure all the moisture is being, expunged out. And not just that, we treat it so that no traces of living organism is found inside the wood, yeah, so that it will last. And not enough, yeah, we compress it, we heat it up, and do all kinds of things, just so that it suits our wishes. And on top of that, we then apply varnish over it. Yeah, we apply varnish, we apply lacquer, yeah, and for plywood, then we apply a veneer over it. Yeah, we do all that for what? We do all that to have it suit our needs. Yeah. So in a way, the fact that we are doing all this is because of our awareness that things are impermanent. And the fact that we have to try to make it go our way is because in a way we know that it doesn't go our way. By itself, it doesn't go our way. That's why we need to do all that. If a person thinks that it's going to go your way, why would you put in effort to make it go your way? Isn't it? So in a way, it's not that we don't understand reality. We do understand reality. The thing is, we don't accept reality. Yeah. We know, but we refuse to give up. We put up a fight, kicking all the way from birth until the very last day where we cannot fight anymore. And then we give up our last breath of air. Then and only then that we say, okay, you know what? And maybe some people even, anybody die and then the hand is outstretched. Pass me your iPhone. Oh, me tofu. Scary, yeah. Perhaps that's why in many cultures we believe in some kind of continuation of our life. Yeah. In Buddhism, there is also such a notion, isn't it? Yeah, rebirth. And there are some scholars who say that, oh, actually in Buddhism, there's no such a concept. It was introduced later. Yeah. But the thing about Buddhism is, how many of you know that there's next life, there's rebirth? As in, for a fact. Yeah. Most of us subscribe to the teaching of rebirth, right? Yeah. But the interesting thing about the teaching on rebirth in Buddhism is the rebirth is not positioned as an alternative to death. Yeah. It's not an answer to death. It's not saying, don't worry that you die, you will be reborn. No. Yeah, the Buddha was just stating as a matter of fact what he observed, that because of clinging, that we don't accept death, we want to live, we have this craving for this world, for the senses, for existence itself, clinging on to our views and all kinds of things. Anything you can think of, we can cling on. And that compels us, propels us, moves us to the next life. Ever wondered why in Buddhism we have this phrase, liao shen tuo shi? That we don't say, oh, let's conquer death by having another life. You see the distinction? Yeah. So while in Buddhism there's the teaching on rebirth, it is not a solution to death. In fact, something that I think boggles many people is that Buddhism is perhaps one, if not one of the few religions that says you should cut off the clinging to life itself. Not so much life per se, but anything that you cling on to is going to bring you unnecessary suffering. If it so happened to be life, then so be it. You know? So Buddhism is very queer in that sense. It goes against our usual notion, our usual common perceived notion of how things are. You know? That most people think in this way. Then Buddha come along and say, How about this way? By the way, this is what I observe. What your, your notion, what you wish for, doesn't seem to be in line with what I'm observing, So the Dharma is quite challenging for most people. Yeah. In fact, if you don't find the Dharma challenging, there's two possibilities. Either one, you have super deep wholesome roots, or two, you're not quite getting it yet. Yeah. Last time I used to feel like I figure everything out already. Yeah. And that was before I ordained. That's why I didn't ordain. Then I realized I haven't figured it out. Then I ordained. Yeah. So if we look at the teachings, in all the different traditions, at some point, it nudges us, pushes us to go and examine what? Not examine some world out there. Examine your present moment. Examine your very life. And I dare say so in all the different traditions. It all boils down to this. We may have different approaches, yeah, different preliminary practices, precursor practices. We may have slightly different emphasis, but all of the different schools and traditions, lineages, they all point to this, to get us to take a closer look. Ehi Pasiko, yeah? Just now we recited, right? The qualities of the Dharma. If you were to look at the Dhamma Vandana, where's the Dhamma Vandana? So over here, yeah, Ehi Pasiko, yeah, page 6. Y'all can later take a look. All the different schools always at some point to this, yeah, because of our differences in inclination, background, and karmic imprints. From there come the different schools. Why? The different schools suit different people. Some people, they need to feel more connected first, devotionally. So there are some schools that emphasize a bit more on devotional practices. Some people are not quite ready to do any serious teaching. Yeah, they delight in doing dana. They just want to do donation. Okay, then there are some societies. Okay, come, do donation. Yeah, but all not as an end by itself. The ultimate end is so that we can see the truth. So in our day-to-day life, yeah, in our day-to-day life, how do we then bridge this gap? Ultimately, in a way, it's very simple. Just keep observing our mind and body. Don't go and observe other people. You know why? Because the moment we observe other people, our creative Shakespearean mind, not the reptilian mind, not the reptilian brain, but our Shakespearean mind will come up with all kinds of stories. We look outwards, we start to label, we form perceptions, we form stories. So we never see the truth. Very hard. Very hard. Even when we observe ourselves, we form stories, isn't it? Yeah. We like to tell stories to ourselves. Some of the stories happen to coincide with reality, but many of that is not. Many of the stories we tell ourselves is just stories. Yeah, it's just stories. In a way, it is very simple. Yeah, just observe ourselves. Like a few times in classes, I do this. Who heard the sound? So some of you raise your hand, some of you don't raise your hand, some of you wonder, wait, what's the question? Then some of you, what sound? Yeah, there was one retreat I mentioned a few times. I was sharing with them this. So as we were at the City Beach Resort, we went up one of the hill, and then we were sitting along the like the viewing gallery thing. And then as we were sitting there and doing meditation, then there was the ship going past. Oh, yeah. So I asked them, y'all hear the horn? Yeah. When you heard the horn, who heard the horn? And then I think I snapped my finger. Yeah. Who heard the snap? We instinctively think, I heard the snap, right? Did y'all hear the snap? Of course. Yeah, unless there was an internet connection problem. Yeah, or there's a the wiring problem in your head. But at that moment, did you think let's say like Valerie heard the sound? Yeah, I, Alvin, heard the sound. I, Chopin, heard the sound. Did you think in that way? I, so and so? Huh? Or is it just simply a matter of I heard the sound? So which I? Is it the name itself that heard the sound? Is it the researcher, Chopin, who heard the sound? Yeah. Is it the son that heard the sound? The daughter that heard the sound? Is it the father who heard the sound, or the husband who heard the sound? What heard the sound? Is it just the ear that heard the sound? If it's just the ear, then that hears sound, then nobody should ever get happy or sad from what people say, isn't it? But when you really examine, then you may wonder, actually really, who heard the sound? Who heard the sound? Day in, day out, we open our eyes, we see things. We hear sound, we smell things, we taste things, we feel objects, we think of things. If we examine closer, then we may observe something else. Yeah, we may come to an answer to who actually see. Yeah, who is the seer? Is there a seer to begin with? What is the seer? Where is the seer? When you open your eyes, there seems to be a seer. When you close your eyes, is there still a seer? When you sleep, what happened to the seer? When you hear the sound, if we say that this is the hearer, then when the sound has ceased, where did the hearer go to? When we go to sleep, where did the hearer go to? When we awake, where did the hearer come from? Yeah. And within all this lies the answer. Yeah. For some of us, maybe it will be a spontaneous realization, and the gap that is 84,000 miles wide will suddenly collapse into one, and within that moment you attain enlightenment. But I think for most people, it's a very gradual process where you start to, bit by bit, come to the realization and verification of what the Buddha himself realized, of what the countless disciples come to realize, come to see, come to observe, come to verify themselves. Yeah. That whatever there is but this continuum of impermanent, transient, dependent arising collection of mind and body, beyond which, if there's ever any self or persona to begin with, it is what we impute onto it. But don't take my word for it. Don't take the Buddha's word for it, for that matter. Go and ehi pasiko. Come and see for yourself, verify for yourself. That's the only way. that we can bridge this gap. But I want to perhaps highlight and share with you all what I read the other day. From the Avatamsaka Sutra, the Huayan Jing. This one. I've been sharing in some classes and to some friends about my perplexity. You know Huayan Jing, the Avatamsaka Sutra, the Flower Adornment Sutra. Oftentimes when we hear people mention it, it is always about how glorious the Buddha state is, right? How amazing the Buddha body is, the multiplicity of pure lands and so on and so forth. How there are in each of the hair pores, a myriad of world is found, and in each of the world specks of worlds, there are, you know, all this description. But do you know that in chapter 13, 光明觉品第9, yeah. So fascicle 13, yeah, but section 9, yeah, there is this chapter on wisdom. Yeah. So within this, there is this there's this part here, which is very interesting. Yeah. Which when I read it, I was like, it was I feel that sometimes, do you all feel sometimes that when you all read the sutra, right, it seems to speak to you. It's like, this is exactly so I don't know whether this is relevant to you, but it was very relevant to me. Yeah. So here goes. 时文殊师利菩萨问法手菩萨言：佛子，如佛所说，若有众生受持正法，能悉能除断一切烦恼，何故复有受持正法而不断者？随贪嗔痴，随慢，随富，随愤，随恨，随忌，随谦，随狂，随禅，随力，势力所转，无有离心。能受持法，何故复于心恒之内起诸烦恼？ Yeah. So the gist of this is Bodhisattva Manjushri. He asked Fa So Pusa, Dharma utmost Bodhisattva. I'm going to just do a loose translation. He asked this other Bodhisattva, what is the reason why there are sentient beings who is able to uphold, to accept and uphold the Dharma, the true Dharma, and yet is not able to eradicate all the defilements. Yeah. Also, so there are those who are able to accept and uphold and are able to eradicate all defilements, and yet there are also those who are able to uphold the Dharma, but not able to eradicate the defilements. Yeah, very interesting question. I don't know whether this is relevant to you, because maybe you cannot even accept, cannot even uphold. So then the latter is, you know, moot point. But maybe for most of you, you can accept, you can uphold, and you can eradicate defilements. So you're wondering, well, Sifu, how come this kind of very low class question? You always ask, yeah, you always have this kind of low class, lowly kind of realization one. Huh? What laksa la? What eat lesser la? What all this kind of nonsense? Can you tell us something more profound? Sorry, this monk only know this kind of very, you know, not very cheap one. Yeah. 时法手菩萨以颂答曰：佛子善谛听，所问如实义，非但已多闻，能入如来法。Yeah. So the truth of what you have asked, yeah. So this other Bodhisattva replied to Venerable Bodhisattva Manjushri, yeah, addressing him as Fuozi, Buddha's son. Yeah, so listen well, okay? Listen well. So what the truth of what you have asked is that it is not through listening to a lot of Dharma, learning a lot of Dharma, that one is able to enter into the Buddha's teaching, yeah, the Tathagata's Dharma. No, not in that way. So, 如人随所飘，具逆而可使，于法不修行，多闻亦如是。So it's just like a person who is floating in the ocean, yeah, in the water, yeah, while amidst the water, but may die of thirst. Yeah. So likewise, yeah. So 于法不修行, likewise, with respect to the Dharma, if you don't cultivate, yeah, 多闻亦如是. Likewise, hearing a lot of Dharma is the same. You cannot penetrate into the truth unless you go and cultivate. The whole section here is wonderful, but I'm going to give you this much as a teaser, so you all can go and search yourself and go and read. Yeah, but it always have this line here. 于法不修行，多闻亦如是. So I put the tag here. Yeah, 于法不修行，多闻亦如是. Yeah, I feel that this applies a lot to me because yeah, I learned a lot of Dharma, but I cultivate very little. You all cultivate a lot. I think you all cultivate a lot. Yeah. So if you wonder how to bridge the gap, this is how to bridge the gap. Yeah. But don't be mistaken, okay? This statement, 于法不修行，多闻亦如是, it's not saying you shouldn't listen to Dharma. After this, based on this, I shall stop listening to Dharma. No, that's not the message. You know, that's the message is, if you listen to Dharma, that's good. But if you really want to penetrate, you need to then cultivate. If you don't listen to Dharma, how you cultivate? How you cultivate? Then you cannot even cultivate. So how to bridge the gap? You must listen to the Dharma. You must contemplate and you must cultivate. Yeah. No shortcut. Yeah, no shortcut. But have to start somewhere, right? So you all can start here with SGC. But no. I always like to highlight. Doesn't mean that you must always attend SGC. Because maybe today, this week, your timing is okay. Maybe next week, your timing is not okay. Let me introduce you to all the different other venerables who is giving teachings online. Yeah. There are a lot of other venerables who is giving teachings online. Yeah. You know that Rinpoche, a lot of his teaching is online. Yeah. Or maybe you yourself, sometimes you like to listen to Chinese Dharma talk. My teacher's Dharma talk is also online. Yeah. Then Shen Yan Fa Shi, the late Shen Yan Fa Shi, his teaching is also online. You can go and search. Yeah. I'm like the, you know, the when you go to a shopping center, then there's a sales promoter. I'm just doing the promotion. So you feel that SGC not cheap enough. You go and there are a lot of other cheap ones. Okay, though doesn't mean must listen to the classes I teach. But important thing is you must learn Dharma, and after learning Dharma, you must try to apply. Try to apply it into your life. Okay, that's how we can bridge the gap. And slowly over time, you may come to the realization that the person who went to bed yesterday is different from the one who woke up this morning. Then every morning, those of you who are married, you should be quite excited. Wow, new person. Wow, every day is a new person, you know. So exciting. Huh? Yeah, every day is a new person, you know. Correct, Alvin? Right? Every day is a new person, new challenges. Yeah. Not just our kids, you know. We tend to think our kids are every week different pattern. Actually, our wife, our husband, all different also. Like to your wife, I think she also having headache. This Alvin, this week like that, next week different. Morning say like that, evening different. Yeah. So you should tell her, like that is more exciting, then we'll never get bored. Okay, let me see. Someone said, not insulted. Okay, whenever you all send me messages that is direct message, I'm going to just read it anonymously. Yeah, because I can't tell whether it's meant for public consumption. So not insulted because humans are clowns and the world is there's a asterisk there, damn circus. Don't have to asterisk lah. I think we are mature enough to know that what damn means. Of course, some people, oh, 师父 say damn. Do you mean that the seer or hearer doesn't exist as an inherent noun or only as a verb see and hear at that particular moment? More of the former, but in both senses it applies as well. Yeah. But more importantly, for all of us to go and examine. Yeah. Don't have to assume that the conclusion was correct, but go and examine. Go and examine what is actually seeing, who is seeing, who is the seer, who is the hearer. Yeah. Go and contemplate on that. On one hand, go and contemplate on it. On the other hand, go and observe. Go and observe. When you observe intently, then one day you come to the point where you see clearly, this is simply the way it is. Not so much that after that you become disappointed with life, but you realize that there's nothing to be disappointed with. This is how it always was. If there's any disappointment, it's because we have our wrong perception and wrong expectation. But reality was always the way it is. Yeah. And reality don't care how we think. I recently found someone else who made the same statement. Yeah. Reality don't care what you think. I was like, good friend. Yeah. That's the way reality is. Reality is not a democracy. It's not a popularity vote. Yeah. It doesn't care what we think, not in the sense that it is against us. It is just the way it is. The sun rise not to give us darkness. The sun rise not to give us light. The sun set not to give us darkness. In fact, the sun never rise and set. It's the earth that spins and orbit. Yeah. But likewise, the earth spin and orbit not so much so that we can be showered with the life-giving sunlight. Yeah, I mean that's a nice idea. I agree. You know, the rain, you know, showers us with life-giving nutrient. You know, nourishes us with this whatever. You know, it's a nice idea. And if thinking in that way helps you get past your day because that day was so tough, that when you finish your day and you manage to see the sunset and you're like, okay, life is good. Please stick to that for now. Okay? Yeah. If thinking that your nasty boss is giving you a lot of shit and there's some meaning to that, and by thinking in that way, it prevents you from murdering your boss, for the time being, think in that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. If not, what is the alternative? Yeah. For some people, maybe when they realize that their boss is just nasty, then it compels them to want to murder the boss. Then maybe not thinking in that way is better, you know. To at least temporarily think that, oh, there must be some good reason. My boss is trying to teach me patience. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I don't say that that's not a good result. Yeah, it's a good result. At least you don't go and kill somebody, right? Yeah, but it's really our wishful thinking to think this way or that way. Reality is just reality. And until then, or perhaps more like, and when we finally come to see that it is just the way it is, then we would sing. Yeah, then our wishful thinking would die, would then say, okay. And it's no longer a matter of that you accept or not accept reality. You realize that whether you accept or not doesn't matter. Yeah. Then you truly accept. Initially, we accept the teachings, right? We always say, oh, we must accept the teachings. That's just us trying to psycho ourselves, you know? Yeah. Ever felt like, you know, when we attend Dharma class, it's like psychoing ourselves. Initially, it's like that. Like, for everybody, it's like that. Yeah. But at some point, you have to go and examine yourself, contemplate. Yeah. And I don't know whether this is the same for other religions, but at least in Buddhism, we don't encourage people to brainwash each other. You must examine and you must verify. Oh. And with that, I leave it to you all to go and do the exercise to find out who heard the sound, and by extension, who made the sound. Who made the sound? And if you can penetrate into that, then you will have the answer. Any questions? Everybody happy? Or more confused? If you're more confused, I'm quite glad I have done my job. Ping Ek says, hi Venerable, I'm struggling to observe the observer seer. Could you see some advice? Can you give some advice, I suppose? Yeah. Okay. No problem. I just want to clarify the question. Struggling to observe the observer and seer. Yes, not so easy initially. And hate to give a cookie cutter answer, but we must meditate. We have to meditate, but not just meditate in the usual way of quietening the mind. Yeah, but it also means that you need to have quietened your mind first. Then you are able to do the subsequent steps, which is to observe the different thought processes, to observe even the intent before we act, before we think, before we see, before we hear, the mental processes before all this. Yeah. Also, if you are able to slowly do that, don't rush into it. It cannot be rushed anyway. Yeah, I tell you a personal experience. When I was in Cheme Yakti Mobi Center in Myanmar, so every week, every 3 days, we have a interview. And then we will share our progress, and then the Sayadaw may adjust our practice. So so initially, when my first interview, the Sayadaw said, asked me how my sitting is, and I told him. Then he said, just sit half an hour. Oh, I was quite insulted. I was like, 开玩笑, I sit 1.5 hours. Now you tell me to sit half hour. Then he said, it's okay, just sit half hour. Then I'm like, begrudgingly, I said, yes, Sayadaw. You want to go there, then you have to follow. So okay, go back to half an hour. Then after that, then he said, okay, then when you're doing your walking, you observe. Yeah, just observe left, right. Then it took a few weeks. Then every week he makes some minor adjustment. Then sometimes for a few weeks it's the same. Then at some point he asked me to observe. Before you lift up your feet, observe the intention, lifting. Then after that, the intent. After the intent, lifting. Then after the lifting, then the actual lifting, then the intent to move forward, then the moving forward, then the intent to drop, then the dropping, then touching. Then after doing that for a few days, the next interview, I told him, can I go back to the earlier one? Then he was surprised because before that I was very eager. Come on, just give it to me. Come on, tell me everything. Just tell me how to get enlightened. I want to understand now. Then the one day I told him, Salvatore, can I go back to 5 steps instead of 7 steps? Then I said, why? I said, I don't think I'm observing anymore. I'm just thinking about the the processes. Then he smiled. Then he said, okay, can. Yeah. So I realized you cannot rush the process. If you're not ready, you're not ready. Yeah. If you can go and learn all the different steps, but in the end, you're just mechanically doing it. So take it like you're going for a cruise. You know, when you go for a cruise, no rush. Yeah. No matter where you rush, you're still in the ship. You're not going anywhere. Right? When it's time for a meal, you'll ring the bell. Ding, 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 ding. Then you just go. Yeah. Then there's a lot of food. Don't have to rush. Just go there. Yeah. Actually, should consider having a retreat in a cruise ship. No rush. And the participants cannot go anywhere. Cannot run. So the same for our practice. Don't rush through it. Yeah. Try to enjoy the process. When you fail, try to enjoy the failure also. Try to laugh at your own failure. Today is so drowsy again. Today the mind is so messy again. Try to appreciate both when your mind is calm and both when your mind is not so calm. Just be aware. Yeah, then you are able to maintain your process. Otherwise, you have to solve many problems. Yeah, you have more problems to solve. And then gradually, when your mind is calmer and more malleable, then quite naturally it becomes clearer. Are you currently have you attended any meditation classes before, Ping?
Not like I was from the Kuomintang Saturday Sunday school, so I did learn meditation from there.
Okay. That should be sufficient for a start. So again, not to do advertisement. You're welcome to join us in the morning, or 6, a bit early for some people, and sometimes may clash with your timing. 6:30 to 7:30, we have a 1 hour sitting. You can join us for half an hour, 15 minutes, any timing, according to your own schedule. Then we have a short, even shorter puja, and then a bit of sharing. So the point is to have a regular practice. If morning doesn't suit you, I heard from Siwin, Venerable Ratana Sara has an evening sitting, right? Is it? Did I get it? Did I remember correctly?
Yes, every Wednesday the rains retreat.
So during the rains retreat, Venerable Ratana Sara has a regular sitting in the evening, so you can join in that. I'm sure there are other venerables who are having classes online. So whichever one suits your schedule, make it a regular practice. Okay. Most importantly, because classes, no matter how regular it is only that time segment, right? Even if you attend 1 per day, it's only that time segment. How about the rest of the day? So that's where it's up to individual to try to incorporate it into your daily life. One of the things that I find very useful from one of the centers is whenever they hear a bell, whether it's a phone ring, the grandfather clock, or when someone hit the bell, they will stop and they will observe the breath. Yeah. In a way, this was actually found in the Chinese Mahayana tradition long time ago, but it kind of disappeared. Yeah, we have a verse, 闻众生烦恼轻, right? And then the whole verse, right? Yeah. So it's supposed to become a practice, but somehow it becomes just a verse that people recite and never do the practice. Yeah, so you can try that. I find that for many people, in our whole day at work, yeah, or in school, it's not so easy to find longer periods to practice. Yeah, but try to at least have a short duration in the morning before you start the day. Then throughout the day, as and when you are aware, catch yourself. Just for, for a few moments, try to catch yourself. Yeah. You'd be surprised that physically, mentally, we are in a state of agitation, Yeah. I personally find that sometimes when I become aware of my own bodily posture, I realize that my stomach, my chest is sometimes constricted, tightened. Yeah, for no apparent reason. And then I learned to, okay, relax. Yeah, but the aim is not to relax. Yeah, I mean, if the aim is to relax, then just give ourselves tranquilizer, relax for the whole day, every day pop Panadol and just sleep. Yeah, that's not the aim. But through that process, we become more aware of our body and mind. Yeah, what is happening? Can try, okay? So let me just go through. Marcel asks, Shifu, while all the wonderful teachings are available online, for me, my problem is self-discipline to go through them diligently and consistently. Yeah, so just come every morning, Where's Marcel? Let me see. Marcel, yeah. Don't beat yourself over it as well. At least you, for someone your age, you are more regular than most young people already. But at the same time, don't rest on your laurels. Don't become complacent and think, oh, Shifu, see, I'm quite good already. Good to. I'm glad that the group of youths in ITBW. So there's this group of youths who with whom I was conducting the book study group with, and then eventually I told them, you all need to have your own self-motivation. You cannot be always me pushing you all to attend class, me pushing you all to read and do all these things. You all need to form your own, like Kalyana Mitra, a group of Dharma friends, and hang out together, learn Dharma together. Doesn't mean one thing I find very interesting for Buddhist group, we always think, oh, we are Dharma brother and sister. Then when we meet, only Dharma. Yeah, anyone who dare to talk about anything that is not Dharma, you hidden, you evil one, Mara, be gone. No, I think it's important especially for lay people, when you all have your group of Dharma friends, it's important that among yourself, you also interact socially. Yeah. Now, I'm not asking you all to attend. Yes, Justin agree. So, yeah, it's important because otherwise, it becomes a kind of dichotomy, between your actual life and then your Dharma life. Yeah, that you just spend that 1-2 hours per week with these Dharma friends. How friend are you if you only spend 2 hours a week together? Ask yourself. What kind of friendship is it if you only talk to each other? Oh yeah, can I ask you a question about the Dharma? What kind of friendship is that? It's very superficial actually. If you think that should be the case, think again. Because if you look at the Nikayas, among the monks, between Venerable Sariputra and Venerable Ananda, they are very good friends, Yeah, they will care for each other. And of course, because they are monks, they don't ask each other, hey, what TV series you watch? but they really care for each other as friends. Yeah. So it's not that the monks in those days, they only know each other, oh, Dharma brother, and then that's it. They don't care about each other on a personal level. No. Otherwise, why is it that Buddha came on describing that, how they care for each other so deeply? So while I'm glad that, like for myself, so those of you who are in your 20s or 30s, if you like to, we never really formally form a youth group, but there's this group of youth who is learning Dharma together. I think that's helpful. So Marcel is with them.
Yes.
Yes. You have to wait for a few more years. You are still quite young. Then Albert is also with them. Then two of them has gone off to visit our monastery in US. Yeah. So, but it's not just for the youth. Even for other age groups, it's important for the Buddhist community to relate to each other truly as friends, not just temple friends. Temple friends, people have temple friends, right? And then they only meet each other when they're going for chanting for funeral. No, so ask yourself, if you have so-called temple friends, how likely are you to share with your temple friends when you have personal problem? Very unlikely. If you have a segregation between your normal friends, your normal life, your normal group of friends where you hang out together, and then your temple friends where you go to Dharma class together, you go for chanting together, which group are you more likely to share your challenges in life? Your normal friends, right? Yeah, and this is one area where I must very openly say we have to learn about fellowship from our Christian friends. This is where they really incorporate it very well. Yeah. But actually in Buddhism, it was always meant to be that way. I don't know how come we then it become Ami Tofu. Yeah. Not that Ami Tofu has a problem. He has no problem. Okay, Ami Tofu. So another private message, let me see. Regarding the harsh reality at work, I need protective charms desperately. Okay, so this one, I must probably just touch on this before we wrap up. 2 minutes to touch on this. But before that, Danny says, Shifu, on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult is it to directly see the answer? How difficult? Depends on, if you are at 9, then difficulty is 1. If you are at 1, then difficulty is 9. So, so it depends. This is a very consulting answer. Yeah, so, they're referring to the who heard the sound exercise. Yeah, it really depends. Some people, when I ask the question, they also no head, no tail what I'm talking about. Yeah, but those of you who have learned at least some teachings on no self, you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, but this is where the trouble is. Sometimes then we intellectualize it and we end up not really examining it. Then we just formulate the model answer, because there are a lot of model answers. You listen to enough Dharma talk. I mean, I cannot be the only one who can remember Dharma talk, right? So easy to come up with model answer. And I can smell the model answer a mile away. So don't give me a model answer. I don't need model answer. I know the model answer. Yeah. So regarding protective charm, time is up, but I just want to wrap that up over here, not related. In Buddhism, there is a very special kind of protective charm. Do you want to know? Very protective, very powerful. Yeah, it's called the 3 refuge and 5 precepts. Yeah. Yeah, it's called the Buddha Dharma Sangha. You learn the Dharma, you reflect on it, you practice. That is the most powerful charm. It can charm you. Yeah, charm you so deeply that you change your life. That last time you see this, you get upset. Now with the charm, you don't get upset anymore. That's the most powerful charm. Yeah, but this charm is very special. Last time you fall sick, now you still fall sick. Given the right conditions, you will still fall sick. The difference is, last time you fall sick, fed up lah. Why am I sick lah? Wow, what is this? then you go and ask that, then maybe pay through your nose and then still sick. Yeah. But after learning the Dharma with this special triple gem protective charm, you learn that sickness is part of your life. You learn to be able to be more resilient to the discomfort of sickness. But you also deal with the sickness with the right mindset, with wisdom. So you still see the doctor. Doesn't mean that all Buddhists don't see doctor. No, Buddhists love to see the doctor. I love to see the doctor. In fact, the moment I see doctor, I haven't taken the medicine, I feel better already. Very strong placebo effect. Yeah. A lot of people have a wrong mindset. Wow, become Buddhist, then don't fall sick. Rubbish. The Buddha and the monks also have the doctors come to treat them. So this is the only protective charm I know in Buddhism. Even if you tell me, hey, but how about 练大悲咒? Same thing, 大悲咒 is pointing you towards the triple gem. Yeah. You chant Om Mani Padme Hum, you go and listen to what Dalai Lama says. You're supposed to chant and then change your mindset. If you chant, but don't change your mindset, but become deeper in your greed, hatred, delusion. No power. No power. Okay? But up to you to wear the charm. How to wear the charm? If it's not something physical, wear it in your heart. Keep the Buddha Dharma in your heart. Keep the Dharma in your heart. Then you are protected. Amitabha. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
普愿罪障悉消除，
普愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛。
起立。